is now.
Oh, fuck.
We're live.
Oh shit! Wait, are people listening to this right now, or is it?
No. This is a recording, man. I haven't gone that far up the ladder yet, man. We're still getting started. This is still amateur hour.
I'm just new to this whole thing, like 100% new to it. I don't know what's going on.
Yes, yesterday was the first time I actually listened to one of my podcasts, like throughout the whole, like from beginning to end for the first time, and I just realized how cringe it was. Like,
Yeah.
I just couldn't stand it. Yeah, I didn't like it.
I'm not gonna listen to this afterwards. Just so you know.
Good. And you can share it as well. You can show it to all of your friends and families, and you can get me to at least 10 subscribers. Actually, I've got 12 subscribers on YouTube now, which is amazing. And I haven't even started promoting it.
Where is this going?
It's going to go on YouTube and SoundCloud.
Then how does SoundCloud work? I
SoundCloud?
sound like an idiot. Seriously.
Bro, come on, man.
I sound like an idiot.
2018.
I don't know shit.
Alright, listen. SoundCloud is basically like it's an underground sound audio.
It's basically where people put their music out, isn't it?
Yeah, it's basically it's a place where people would just put their sounds on. So it can be anything. It can be it could be a podcast. It could be music. But SoundCloud's really sneaky because they only let you put up to 3 hours of your of things.
Mm-hmm.
And then after you have to pay. So basically, it's like YouTube, but for audio purposes.
Do you have like followers on it as well?
Yeah. People follow you. You know Post Malone? Post Malone made it from SoundCloud.
So how many followers do you have?
I've got 4.
Yeah.
Bro, your face. Like, yeah, right. Okay.
Hello, 4 people that
Yeah,
listen to
you
this
gotta
right
start
now.
from somewhere. No, but honestly, I'm quite proud of myself because I haven't even started promoting or anything. But I think the last few podcasts I've got like 20 views. Like the first one has got like 44 views. And I haven't pushed it out enough. But
So the 4 people that are following you right now have basically spread this out to.
or people have just come across it on SoundCloud,
Yeah.
or they've come across it through one link or another. But anyway, it's going to be on SoundCloud and YouTube.
So how many of these podcasts do you have out right now?
But this is episode 5, so we've recorded 4.
Okay.
I think this is episode 5. Yeah, it is. This is episode 5.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm loving it so far. We're taking it one step at a time, as per usual. The standard studio setting in whip number 2. What do you think of the settings? Like, what do you think of the studio?
It's really underground. Like, I do actually like it. I like this.
It's sick, isn't it?
We're sat literally in. Am I allowed to say where
Yes,
we're sat?
well, don't disclose the location.
Oh, okay.
But you can describe the location. Every podcast that I do,
it's
I
very
basically
naturey. A lot of leaves. You can you feel the autumn vibes. Like
I like it.
We're in October. No, we're not in October. It's September still, isn't it? But we're going into October soon, so it's like spooky season.
Yeah.
So it's like the perfect location to be in. I mean, the sun's out as well at the same time. It is quite warm.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is the first podcast I'm doing in daytime. I thought it would be really weird, and I thought I wouldn't like it, but I actually like it.
Yeah,
like I'm enjoying
nice.
this, and it's only been like 3 minutes, but I like this morning podcast because I don't know, it just everything's so much more alive. Whereas in the evening things are so much mellow.
But I could imagine everything being a lot more nicer in the evening. Like
it's
amazing. Depending on where you've positioned the studio, if that makes sense. Like if you're
usually we're up.
Right. Yeah. So
we're high up.
Obviously looking out across London and just like seeing the lights and stuff in the evening must be like amazing.
It is. It's nice.
It's a bit too romantic at the same time. So I think it'd be kind of weird for like 2 guys.
Yo, I don't say that way,
setting.
bro. No, but listen, the settings here are crazy because it's really, really calm. It's really quiet. You can't hear anything. We're secluded. We're disattached from the outside world. There is a bug on the window. But listen, I really like what we're doing with this podcast in terms of recording it in a car and not doing it in a mainstream studio or in a room. And I'm
humble beginnings.
Yeah, humble beginnings. And also, I also had a thought of, recording it in the car as well. I don't know how that would work out, but we're taking things one step at a time. So the first step is just doing a few episodes, which is just audio, so I can just get the hang of putting it all together. And then the next step is trying to get 3 guests. And then after that, we'll try and do videos. That's going to be a fucking...
That's too much work.
It's going to be so much work to do video because you got to edit the video. You got to make sure you get it from 2 different angles. You got to keep on cut pace. And if a podcast is like an hour and a half long, it's going to be...
And then you've got your whole week basically just editing it. after you recorded it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're gonna record the next one, and then spend a whole week again editing it.
I don't want to think about it. It stresses me out. This is why I stopped doing YouTube, man. This is why I stopped making YouTube videos, because it's just a bum to do. It's just long, tiring, and just ugh.
Talking of YouTube,
go on.
You sent me this video this morning about Logan Paul's brother.
We're gonna get into that.
Nah?
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm really excited today. Today's gonna be a really it's gonna be a nice, different episode, because usually we talk about trending topics, which we will do today as well. But today's gonna be more centered on themed conversations. I'll run through what things we're gonna talk about. So, episode 5. Before I start, shout out to Lil Wayne. I know you didn't listen to the last episode, but obviously I was basically slagging him off, and I was saying how I didn't think Lil Wayne was gonna come back with a good album, because he's spent the last 7-8 years not releasing anything. He's released a few projects.
When was his last album?
Carter 5. Sorry, Carter 4 was out.
How many years
2012, 2011. I don't know. It was a very long time ago, because he's having disputes with Young Money, Cash Money, and all of this.
How old is he anyway? Because I'm
36. He celebrated his birthday, the release date of his album, and I'm gonna talk about this. Hopefully, I want to dedicate a whole podcast talking about Lil Wayne's album, Logic's album, and Kanye West's new album, which is so exciting, because these 3 are massive, big dogs in the music industry. They're huge. So we're not gonna touch on any of that today. But today we're gonna be talking about iPhone XS, which has gone on sale. We're gonna be hitting on the discussion about depression, mental health, as it was Mental Health Awareness Day, I think Wednesday, which has just gone by. So we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about the Novichok. Have I said that right? It is Novichok, isn't it?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's the Russian scandal. The update. I'm just gonna touch on it literally. It's just gonna be a little thing to just put in there. The teenager who died from eating a Pret a Manger baguette. We're gonna talk about upcoming movies.
Yep.
Venom, Creed 2, the Bumblebee film, Fantastic Beasts.
Is Bumblebee the
the
Transformers one?
Yeah,
right?
Transformers one. Yeah.
Cool.
I didn't get to watch the.
I'm not a big fan of Transformers anyway.
No,
but
neither. Might skip that.
We can skip. Yeah, I mean,
we'll cross that out.
Yeah, 100%.
And we're going to be talking about a massive topic about sociopaths and about the YouTube community and what sort of characteristics a YouTuber develops during the course of their YouTube quote unquote career. So today's episode is it's going to be a lot more mature. As I said before, I was listening to myself for the first time, listening to the whole podcast from beginning to end, and I realized how much I swore, how much profanity I use, and it just wasn't cool. It didn't sound cool at all.
Bring that down a bit.
Huh? Yeah. So I was just gonna say, I'm gonna try and use as because when I get passionate, I like to swear in it. Because
it is a way of expressing yourself, but
yeah. So
it's not the best way, but
no, I know it's not at all. So I was like, I was listening to it and I was just cringing. I was like, why do I swear so much? It doesn't sound cool. It just I was just cringing. So I'm gonna try not to swear as much. Shout out to Ihan. That's my co-host who's usually here. He's in Turkey right now enjoying himself. He'll be back next week. Miss you, bro. Miss you a lot. But we've got. Like I said, I did promise everyone, that we're going to have special guests, and that is what I've delivered. Special guest number 1 was here a few days ago, and now we have a special guest number 2, and you really are a special
Thank
guest.
you so much.
In my heart, you always be a special
guest. I was trying to swerve this anyway. I was like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wanted to ask you, so when I first came to you, when I first was like, listen, jump on a podcast, what was your initial thought? What were you thinking?
What am I going to talk about? I had no idea, the direction, because I didn't listen to your previous ones. I haven't listened to any at all. So I don't know what kind of topics you bring up, what you talk about.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I have enough opinions.
Yeah, you always man.
Huh?
Nothing, bro.
What?
No.
Say that again.
Carry on.
You said you're gonna bring down a profanity, and you were like, I mean, Wasteman isn't really a swear
You
word,
heard what I
but-
said. I was just testing your listening
Yeah.
to see whether you could hear everything.
But I mean, looking at the list that we just gone through anyway, I mean, I don't really have
issues.
Major
issues.
I probably can say a few things, but
Yeah. We could talk about Speaker's Corner.
Oh, when we went a couple of
Do
weeks
you
ago, that
remember?
was so fucking weird.
my
I was
God.
like, what?
It's developed.
It's crazy. I mean, crazy people do exist. That's what it.
I can safely say crazy people do actually exist, not just in movies.
I mean, I'm not talking about. Exactly. I mean, I'm not talking about that as in like as in. I don't know.
Go on.
We're going to talk about depression and stuff. So I mean, I think it's kind of like.
It will link to that. We'll link to that very nicely.
But it's just kind of it's weird to see like people that you see on TV and like social programs as well. Like, I don't know, Big Brother and stuff like that. Like, you don't expect to come across them in real life until you actually go to places like Speaker's Corner.
Wacky places. Whack town.
Yeah, it's the opinions and people have like I've never come across like so much hatred until I was to Speaker's Corner. Do you know what I mean? Like
welcome to Planet Earth 2018.
Because people talk about racism or like I don't know, people like being anti particular religion. Do you know what I mean? And then I've never come across or experienced it. And if I have experienced it, it would have been
indirectly,
indirectly or in a light-hearted way. And I've experienced it in America. But
really? Because I haven't spoken to you about your experience in America. I know you've briefly touched on what it's like and an environment and stuff. Yeah. But as a Pakistani Muslim, that must have been weird. You must have been exposed to some form of racial awkwardness or tension.
Yeah, I mean, because I was in the US back in 2016 for about 3 months. I was working at the Grand Canyon, Arizona.
Working?
Huh?
Working?
Yeah, it's just like a student program, kind of thing. So you just work for 3 months and you get to travel,
right?
Until you basically want to go back home,
right?
So this was during the summer period in 2016. I was working at this Native American arts and crafts store on the rim of the Grand Canyon, and obviously being in the Grand Canyon, it's very touristy, so you don't encounter much, like compared to if you go to like a smaller town, where people wouldn't be too
close-knit communities. You aren't
wouldn't be
familiar
too
with
ashamed to basically express how they actually feel. So obviously being in a tourist environment where you have people from like China coming over or India, obviously people are going to be a bit more reserved and sort of portray this image of being open and whatnot. And so you don't really experience real America, or I didn't really experience real America. But working where I was working, my manager, it looked like a very stereotypical redneck American, had long hair, long grey hair, trucker's cap.
Wow. Something you see in a cowboy movie.
Exactly, yeah.
I need to see shit like that for real life, man. I've had enough of watching it on TV.
He was a real nice guy as well. I mean, he's passed away now.
Oh, right. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
Yes, exactly. I need to repeat it. Try to make me laugh.
That's so bad of me. All right, cool.
What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So he was a really nice guy. Like, we met, and I don't feel like... I mean, I was getting darker and darker out there anyway, so, like, I was even more brown than normal in the UK. But no one really picked up on the fact that I am a Muslim or Pakistani. They were just
I wouldn't be able to tell that. You'd look more, I'd say, Mexican.
Okay.
No, I mean, you look more Mexican than you.
Yeah, I mean, because it's that's kind of, I wouldn't say true, but like people did just think I was an American because I've got the American skin tone, like especially that part of America where it's really, really hot and everyone's like brown skin. Yeah. So I kind of blended in until I basically spoke and I had this London accent, and then it would throw people off basically. But people would just think I'm Indian anyway. Right. Those people, I guess it's quite accurate. Yeah. Anyway, but never, the whole Muslim thing would never come up. And I had friends like who were of similar age as me, and
were your friends out there Americans? White Americans.
White Americans.
Really?
And there'll be awkward conversations going on. Like a lot of things happened in America while I was there. Like there was gun shootings and stuff like in Florida and.
With a couple.
Huh?
The couple San.
I don't know.
San Bernard.
No, I think it was a nightclub in Florida.
Oh yes, of course. The guy who went in and because he was homophobic.
Yeah, and he was gay. Apparently, he was gay himself.
Yeah, and he was gay himself. Allegedly.
So he started shooting up people in the gay club, I think it was.
Yeah.
So stuff like that was happening on in the news. And then there was conversations about, because I think it was during the presidential
election,
like the campaigning and stuff. So conversations about gun control were really, really like intense as well. So
yeah.
I wouldn't. At first, I was naive, so I was just thinking that these people who are the same age as me would have the same views as me, and I was like,
"Were you living with them?"
Well, it was accommodation really. Like, it's a bit like student accommodation really, where I was living.
So when you went over there, were they strangers, or did you know them prior to going?
No, they were strangers. I just became
okay,
friends with them.
fine. Right, makes sense. Right, cool.
So I thought they were like-minded. So I'd be like, yeah, like, you know, they should like really do something about guns and stuff. And then one of my friends who he was obviously a white American, and he's very like intense. He started getting really passionate, like saying how we shouldn't like control guns in the US.
Right. Yeah, because obviously that's like the Second Amendment, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It was
that's
really
what they
passionate
fought
about
for.
it.
That's what their forefathers fought for.
Yeah,
the fact to let them protect themselves.
Yeah, so for me it was like, oh shit, like I just thought you're gonna agree with me,
yeah.
But you totally don't. And he became really passionate about it, and like in some ways I offended him. So I would sort of stay away from that kind of conversation. But at the same time, I did meet a lot of people who were the same age as me.
Yeah.
And totally agreed with me and what my views were. But then again, you come across people who don't. Like my manager I was talking about earlier, who's now.
When did he pass away? Because you were only there 2 years ago.
I think it was the following year. So
how did he pass away?
He had melanoma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people in that part of the US sort of encounter or have skin cancer because of
I see. Yeah, of course.
Right. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, he would have conversations and stuff, and he would become really political and really go off on one. Yeah. And he would talk about like Obama and stuff, and really take the piss out of him. And then he was basically calling him a Muslim apologist.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. Start again. So what did he say? Because I was.
He was just talking. You zoned out.
Yeah, I was zoned out.
He was just talking about Obama and stuff, and sort of like cussing him in different ways.
Right.
Because he was obviously a pro-Trump supporter. And then he said how he's a Muslim apologist, and at that moment I was just like,
so
oh shit, he doesn't. He clearly
Obama's
didn't know
a
Muslim
apologist.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, go on, continue. I don't want to.
Yeah. So basically, I was just like, crap. Like he just basically revealed that he's in some way anti-Muslim.
Well, did he build on his argument?
He didn't build on it. He just left it at that point there. But I just went quiet. I just thought, okay, cool. You know, say what you want to say. I don't want to get shot. Because obviously you never know what he has in the back of his truck. So that was a weird encounter for me. I was like, okay, this guy seemed really friendly. Like, you know, we really got along, and he like, you know, we always have conversations and stuff. And then when he says stuff like that, he obviously doesn't know. He knows I'm a foreigner. He knows I'm from the UK.
And he knows your name is Nabil.
He knows my name is Nabil, but I guess I don't think my name is like. It's not like Mohammed or Ahmed.
By the way, listeners, this is Nabil. That's the first thing I should do.
I was thinking. I totally forgot you.
I was building on it, but then we got lost in this conversation.
What was I saying? Yeah, so I don't think my name, because even when I was going through the airports and stuff, because I had like a lot of, I came up from the US a couple of weeks ago as well. I went back for like 2 weeks.
What was the border control like?
Nothing. I was
really.
It was a bit weird leaving the UK and going to the US, because in the UK they
female alerts and male alerts.
Yeah, this is really weird.
Yeah, this is what usually happens in my podcast. We usually see a lot of cars. Like the other episode, we had like a car sitting next to us. They were and it was blacked out. There was a girl and a boy, and they were sitting there for about 20 minutes. And then all of a sudden, whilst we're in mid conversation, they park. They start driving out, and then they move to the next spot. So they moved from the spot that's next to us to the spot away from us. Bit suspicious, really.
Let's see if they get out of the car.
It's the same with these guys, to be honest. They look a bit suspicious. Same car as well. Actually, their one's a little bit more newer.
Yeah. Oh, they're getting out of the car.
Okay, fine.
So it might not be as dodgy as we think. Oh no, they're probably just trying to get some air in.
All right, anyway, let's carry on with our conversation. So you went to the American airport.
Yeah. So nothing really. I mean, when I was basically leaving the UK to go to the US, that's when they did. Like, you get selected randomly for an extra search before you board the plane.
Right.
I was kind of pissed about that. And I think.
Oh, so you got selected?
I randomly selected.
Oh yeah, of course. Of course, you got randomly selected because that's how it works, doesn't it? Yeah.
But I think it looks a bit suspicious anyway. Like, you know, British, Pakistani, most likely person who's
Oh,
Muslim.
bullshit.
Going to the US on his own. So, but when I was in the US, like doing domestic flights, like going from like I don't know, Vegas to Los Angeles and Los Angeles to Detroit, like nothing really happened. It all ran smoothly for me.
Yeah.
So I felt really good about that. I felt like, oh, this is really cool. Like America's not as how people sort of describe it to be or expect it to be. I mean, I do understand. Obviously, people do go through American airports and then get pulled aside and searched and whatnot, and there are horror stories. But for me, it was perfectly fine, and I felt like I was totally accepted. And I think that comes with my name not being obviously Muslim. Like, I mean, it is Muslim, but like.
Yeah, not the stereotypical,
not strong Muslim name.
Not the stupid American mind, ignorant thought.
Yeah, because it's not
name.
Like Ahmed or Mohammed, Ibrahim. I don't have my name's not like that.
Yeah.
It's not one of those names that stands out.
Yeah.
So I think maybe I was accepted because I just sort of slipped under the radar.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Which is not I don't know. I probably can't speak for all people. Muslims who basically go to America and sort of go through the airport and have the terrible experiences.
Yeah.
But for me, it ran smoothly and perfectly fine.
So, other than that experience with the manager, did you experience any other sort of racial?
Oh wait, hold on, yeah.
Go on.
There was this one guy who Americans love to talk about race.
Yeah, that's the only thing they ever talk about. There's like anytime you turn on the news or Fox News or anything, it's either about politics or race.
Mm-hmm. They love to talk about race, and I guess at that time that I was in America, it was very heated as well. But there was this one guy that I met, and then I referred to him, like, we were just talking about what we would class ourselves as, like.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, so you refer to yourself as African American? And he got kind of offended. He's like, no, I'm not African American. I'm just black. And I'm like, but from my studies, because I did a module before I went to America about race in the United States, my understanding is obviously of Black Americans.
Wait, no. Please start that again for me. I zoned out.
Oh, fuck's
for the second time. Sorry, I apologize.
So basically, they're gonna get tired of me just talking about this.
Listen, it's my podcast, my rules, innit? If you don't like it, please don't go. I need you.
All the four people that listen to this right now.
Yeah, the four people that are listening, please stay.
So I was talking to this dude, and we were just talking about like what we class ourselves as in terms of like if you were to like fill out a form.
Where did you meet this guy?
It was just a random person at this like social rec center.
Okay, fine.
So this guy was like, I told him you would basically refer to yourself as African American, and he got offended. He was like, no,
African American.
Yeah, because
that's what you are.
That's what.
Well,
that's what I think.
I would go as far as to say not even African American, just American, because if like me, in Britain, if someone was to ask me what my nationality is, or if someone was to give me a form to fill out, I would tick the British box.
Really?
Yeah, I would. Well, of course, you're British. I'm British.
Yeah, but then don't you want to still be associated with your heritage?
No, I don't need to, because my passport. Because I've got a British passport.
Come on, no, you can't just like. Are you like just abandoning your ethnicity?
No, listen, I've got nothing against my ethnicity, but the way I see it is, I'm born and bred in Britain.
Yeah.
My origins lie in Bangladesh.
Yeah.
If I was to fill out a form that's telling me my nationality is British. Likewise in America, if your nationality is a US citizen, you shouldn't need to clarify whether you're an African or whether you're Japanese. It's like, if that was the case, then everyone should put down their heritage and their origins. Okay, I'm a European American.
Yeah.
Or I'm a Canadian American. Do you know what I mean?
No, because if you're a white American, you wouldn't say I'm British American.
Yeah.
That's true, actually.
So I just think it's a bit contradictory. Anyway, as you were saying, so you are having this discussion.
So I was like, you refer to yourself as African American, and he's like, no, just black. And I'm like, okay. And
so he's a black man himself.
He's a black man himself, yeah.
And he said that he's black.
He's black. It contradicts what I've basically been learning prior to coming to the US, because we did a module. You did a module as well. In the United States. So that whole module was basically about black Americans becoming African Americans, being considered as citizens of the US. So for me, that was kind of really weird. And then he was like, I'm listening to you right now. I think he got a bit confused between ethnicity and nationality, because he was like, my ethnicity is English, and then my nationality is Asian, Pakistani, whatever.
You said that to him?
No, that's what he was saying to me. I'm like, no, you got it the wrong way around.
So he said your nationality is English,
and then
your heritage is
no, the other way around.
So he's saying your nationality is Pakistani, but your heritage is English.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
But I think he, I don't think he understood what we were talking about at that time. But then he basically said to me later on how, if he closes his eyes right now, my voice doesn't match my face.
How stupid is that? Like, do you when you're born, are you given some sort of does the doctor inject some sort of voice implementation device inside of you that?
Because I just don't think, because he's obviously seeing a brown person speaking with a London accent, and I guess, I mean, this is like real America at the same time. Like, this is not New York or LA. This is Arizona. Yeah. So these people don't know much about the rest of the world. They don't know what London looks like. They probably just assume like the whole of England is just filled with white people, when that's not the case. But so that's why I think that's the sort of image he had in his head. But I guess you have TV shows like The Big Bang Theory where you have Raj, for instance, who has an Indian accent. He probably just thought I'll speak like Raj, for instance. Yeah. And not a London person. So yeah, I can understand the way he probably was confused by the way I looked and the way I spoke, but at the same time it was borderline racist, would you say?
I just think it's ignorance, to be honest.
Well, racism is ignorance.
Yeah, it is. I mean, but in order to be racism, you need to know the difference between right and wrong. I mean, this guy sounds like he didn't know. He wasn't aware, or he hasn't been educated to know what. It's gonna sound so stupid. What someone's voice should sound like, which is ignorant in itself, because a voice shouldn't sound like in a specific way. I mean, yeah, okay, fine, fair enough. We can make the argument that black people have a particular tone, or
I can tell when I'm talking to someone.
Yeah, so can I.
When I'm talking to someone on the phone,
but it's not always the case.
Asian, or if they're black, or if they're white. I can always tell.
Yeah, but it's not like, what I'm gonna say is, you can't pinpoint. I mean, you can say like, okay, black people have deeper voices.
Wait, do I sound like an Asian British person? Actually, someone at work told me this as well. Actually, that I sound. The way I talk, it sounds like I'm Asian British person. Like, there's this particular.
I don't know, man.
Because it depends on, like, obviously the household as well. Like, I've got grandparents who don't speak English. Yeah. And then when they do speak English, they have an accent. So obviously they try with us as well. They're trying to connect with us by talking to us in English, and then they obviously have the accent. So probably that rubs off on our accent, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, look, it all comes down to socialization. So it all begins in the early stages of your life when you're taught your first language. Your first language, if you're not English and you have dual nationality, or if your origins lie somewhere else, your first likely chances are your first language will be something else other than English. So my first language is Bengali. And
can you speak Bengali?
Yeah, I do. I speak Bengali. I'm fluent in Bengali. So if I was to speak English with someone, they would probably be. I mean, my English you'll be able to hear hints of the Bengali accent. Yeah. In the way that I speak English.
Yeah, exactly. Right? That's what this person at work was saying. Like, it rubs off. You can hear it. You can hear a bit of that. Yeah. Asianness.
Really? But I find that so weird, because can you hear the Asianness in my voice?
I find it quite difficult to judge, because I feel like, I don't know. Because I can always tell when I'm speaking to an Asian girl over the phone. Yeah. I can tell it's an Asian girl. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know about.
Yeah. No, you can. Yeah, no, I get it a lot. But I also think it's from, like, especially in the UK, it's got a lot to do with where you come from in the UK. If you're from London, it's got to do with what part of London. So if you're from East London, your accent is going to be very, very specific, especially as an Asian. This is so complex. We're just going into like layers and layers of like complex shit right now. If you're an Asian and you're in London, you need to be from a specific part of London in order to have that accent. So East London Asians will have a specific accent. North London Asians will have a specific accent.
There aren't many of us though. But.
No, there isn't. But it's like, if I was brought up in East London, I would be hanging around with a lot more Bengali people, because that's where we predominantly are. We're in East London, Whitechapel. That's where the majority of us are. I say us. I don't really like including myself in. the Bengali community. But anyways,
self-hate Bengali.
I know I'm not a self-hate person. I just can't stand my own people. Like, mate, it just goes. It goes down with years and years of just, cultural crap. Anyway, so if I was to be hanging around with Bengali guys, I would have that Bengali accent. I don't know whether you've heard it. Well, of course, our uni was in.
Huh?
Our uni was in East London.
What?
Our uni was in East London.
Oh, right, yeah.
Did you ever come across like a Bengali guy or an Asian guy and you could hear the accent like so like thick?
I'm trying to think back and I'm just finding it difficult because, actually there is a difference then, isn't it? Because then, I see. Because the Bengali people in East London sound different to the way you sound. I feel like we sound quite similar.
Yes, we do.
Because we're obviously we're North London.
Because our friends were, give or take, British English people.
Not really. Not where I live. Where I live is predominantly like Turkish Cypriots, African Caribbean area.
So then, how did we come to develop such a
proper London accent?
Like a normal standard English accent, minus any hard like pronunciations.
That's weird. I don't know. It's weird now. Now thinking about it, like, where do we get this from? Like, where has it come? Actually,
go on.
It's funny because when I hang around with my cousins who spend a lot of time in Birmingham,
right,
I sometimes hear in myself that I come out with a Birmingham accent as well.
Yeah.
So it comes like for me, like my accent's always changes sometimes depending on what I'm doing. So if I'm watching a lot of American TV shows, my accent will change and I'll speak in a different way.
Yeah.
So if I'm hanging around with my cousins who are born and bred in London as well, like me, but spend a lot of time in Birmingham and have therefore developed that Birmingham accent, I would pick that up too. So I feel like my accent is very influenced by.
Is what you're saying.
By what I'm doing
You'll
and
get
who I'm talking to.
Because when you're hanging around with a general mass, you are likely to. And
Can I
look,
just say, the people in the car in front of us, they haven't left the car and they're still in the car.
No, they haven't. I can see hand movements.
They're doing weird shit.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I can.
That is wavy, fam.
It's just weird.
We're gonna be exposed to so much of this in future podcasts. This is so much great content.
Only if you were recording it. I mean, actually, no, it's kind of.
But I'm sure they saw us with microphones as they were pulling in.
Yeah.
Oh my god, she's really gone in.
Okay. Hey.
Look. My word.
This is someone's private.
Nah,
place.
man. It ain't private once you step out your door. Privacy doesn't exist anymore. Right. That was a very good introduction. We spent half an hour talking about something very deep.
That wasn't really intended. It wasn't on the list, was it?
No. That's the point of a podcast, though. That's why I always say the whole purpose of a podcast is to have a general plan, an outline, but just to talk about whatever. And it's great, man. I love it because it's good therapy.
Should we move on to the movies?
Let's do it. All right. Let's have a look at the list. So the list we have. Let's touch on the iPhone XS going on sale. Have you had a look at it?
I haven't, but I've just been seeing a lot of those videos on Instagram and like Twitter and stuff of what they call again? What they call the one where you have the emoji thing, your face, and then it moves.
The fucking Animoji.
Animoji, yeah. I've been seeing a lot of those and like people just like.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of those videos.
Stuff.
They look quite cool.
They look cool, and I thought I could do that with my phone.
What phone have you got?
iPhone 8.
You know that awkward moment when you try and use Animoji and it just glitches out.
I'm trying to find out like how do I get my Animoji working on my iPhone 8? Like,
does it work?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't have it at all.
Wait, so are you on contract or did you buy that as a pay as you go?
My mum pays for it. I don't even know how. I don't even know what I'm on.
Is it a contract though?
It's a contract, yeah.
So you're gonna be due for an upgrade soon, no?
Possibly.
Find out, man. You can get an iPhone. You can join the big boys.
The thing is, like, I don't pay for shit. That's the thing. So I don't know what I've got in my hand right now, in terms of like what I can do with my phone and what I can't do with my phone, because I'm kind of spoiled and I don't pay for shit.
Kind of spoiled.
Yeah. I mean, I
wish someone paid for my phone contract.
But yeah, so I mean, for that reason, I'm not rushing to get the new iPhone.
Yeah.
But I'll definitely rush to get it if this one is like really, really outdated. I mean, it's not an iPhone 7. It's an iPhone 8.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
an
it's
iPhone
respect.
8.
I mean, I'm not embarrassed to take this phone out.
I wouldn't. My
No.
one of my best friends, he's got he rocks out an iPhone 5.
Oh wow, that's bad, isn't it?
Was it a 5? I don't know. I don't know if I'm misquoting him. I'm sure he'll correct me. So it's the really old school one. You know, the ones that like it's like brick, not brick, but it's got the edges around it.
iPhone 4?
No, it's not. It's not iPhone. I think it's a 5. It's a 5. 5S.
5S. Is it? Yeah, it's
Old school, man.
Yeah, no, I mean that's when I'll change my phone once like.
And I know he's doing it just to be cool.
Huh?
I know he's doing it just to be cool. You know, people who just rock out old phones because they're trying to make a point. Like,
no,
look at me.
I don't see the point. I would feel like a person's a lot more cooler with the latest one, because like looking at your phone, I mean I don't know which one it is, but
it's the X, my friend. So this is now officially an old phone.
Yeah, that looks a lot more impressive, and I'd be like, oh, look, shit, you look cool. Because I've got, I don't know if you saw this when you picked me up. I've got AirPods in it.
Yes, you do.
I feel so sick with them. Everyone at work's like, oh shit, boy, you look cool. And I'm like, yeah, I know, innit? And then they like basically freak me out by saying
you take your phone out. Huh? I'm saying the moment you take your phone out.
Oh, with the AirPods.
Just like,
Yeah, but you can't really tell. You can't really tell what phone this is, can you? Unless you switch it on, and you can obviously see that it's an older one. But you like that, like it looks substantial.
It's an 8, right?
Yeah.
So the next one up would be the X. So this is the next one up. So your phone isn't really that old, really. It's quite good.
Oh, is it an iPhone 7 then? I'm not sure.
Now we're heading into dangerous territory now.
I think it might be an iPhone 7.
Has it started glitching yet? You know the old iPhone curse.
Nah.
When the new phone comes out.
It hasn't. My battery life is still good.
How long does it last you?
I don't really count it, but it can last me a whole day. Like when it's 100%, it wouldn't go down to like 10 by the end of the day. It'll be a substantial amount, but that's all good. So,
well, you'll be pleased to know that the new iPhone has a battery life. Well, they've extended the battery life to a whopping. Are you ready? This is gonna shock you.
Is it gonna be disappointing? You're just trying to hype it up,
I'm hyping it up. This is one of Apple's highlights. They pointed it out. They put it in a bullet point. They've made it into a separate point to highlight in their show, in their release. Was it a show? I don't know. Release conference.
Oh yeah, the ones with
iPhone XS has a whopping 30 minutes more increase.
I knew you're gonna like hype it up so much and then gonna be disappointed.
I just can't believe. I just can't believe they had the audacity to put that as a bullet point.
Yeah, but then you can charge your phone a lot faster now, can't you? Like you just tap it on and for like 5 minutes and it goes to 100%.
Well, I don't know. Personally, I think all of the iPhones are exactly the same.
I feel like they can do everything they want to, but then because they want people to carry on buying it, they make the small changes after a year. So like they could have made an iPhone 10 4 years ago.
Yeah, you think so? I
think they could have, but obviously they're like, okay, you know what? Let's make small changes and
I mean,
slowly build up to it.
How much more change can you put in an iPhone X, in an iPhone XS?
They probably know. They probably knew 5 years ago what they could do.
Yeah. No, of course they got a business plan. They know what they're doing.
They knew what they could do, but they just obviously didn't want to implement it now.
Yeah.
So that they would just like not have anything else to put out.
Ever since Steve Jobs has died, the whole innovation of Apple has died as well. Because now they're just releasing shit out just for the sake of it. Because they know, because Apple know that they have to release something every fucking September. They just need to push something out.
It's a bit like Michael Jackson, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like
good old Michael Jackson.
Yeah, like in the sense that they've still got like some music that he left behind, and they're like
Michael Jackson's a legend.
It's gonna be 10 years though next year. Can you believe it?
10 years.
10 freaking years, and I'm like shook.
I remember.
I feel like it was yesterday.
Where were you when you first heard the passing of Michael
Jackson?
Where was I? Because I can remember exactly where I was.
I think I was at school when I was like my technology class.
Yeah.
And then we started banging out every single lesson.
Yeah.
For like a really long time, we started banging out Michael Jackson music.
Yeah.
In classes that you can bang out Michael Jackson music, like I don't know, art and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's where I was, and I was like, and it's so funny because I never really knew much about Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Until like a week before his death, because my auntie was like, "Oh yeah, I used to listen to this song when I was a kid," and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, "Oh, this music's quite cool." And then a week later, he dies. I'm like, "Whoa."
Shit.
I feel like that was a sign. I feel like everyone's got like a Michael Jackson story into the lead up to his death. Like I feel like everyone's got something. Have you got one?
With the day he died, I found out through teletext. Do you remember teletext?
No. Well, is it music?
No, man. How old are you? You're not that old.
What?
You know, or that young, I should say. You know when you turn on the TV and you press the teletext button, and then a group of a page comes up, a multicolored page, and then you get to click like numbers, and it goes to a certain page. I need to show you the picture because you're not gonna know. Teletext. This is the old school way of finding out news. So old, like.
Yes, what are you talking about? Yeah, when you go BBC and stuff.
Teletext, man.
Oh no, I don't know that.
Of course you know.
No, this is like 90s shit.
No,
it looks very familiar, but I don't feel like this was out back in.
Yes, it is. You click numbers and it gives you the news.
This was not out
Football
10 years ago.
News, and it gives you stuff like.
This probably died out in like 2000. No.
No, man.
We had this 10 years ago.
Yes. This died out not that long ago. Think about how much has happened in the last 10 years.
No, because I know you can go on BBC, right?
The first iPhone came out 10 years ago.
Yeah, no, listen. You go on
ago.
BBC, right? You press a red button and you get news.
Yeah. So it's like that, but it's for TVs. It's for television.
I've never come across that. I've got
God.
Skybox at home. I don't know what you've got.
Well, back in the days, I think we had Sky, but I think I don't think back in. No, of course we had Sky. We've always had Sky, man.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Is teletext sponsored by?
Oh, I've got a phone call. Give me 2 seconds. I need to pick this up.
Okay.
I'm still live on air as well. Wow. Hello, Farhan speaking.
Sweet.
Hello. Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me right now.
Sunshine Advisors.
I hate them ones.
I've got this information about the accident in which you were innocent. Is that right?
Let's have some fun.
Yes. I always do this as well.
Please hold a minute.
So we're about to go live with somebody.
I always do this and tell them to stop fucking calling me.
We're gonna go
live.
live.
Mad on them.
We're gonna go live with someone right now.
Is there an actual office out there with people?
Thank you for staying on the line. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. So my name is Daniel. I'm calling you from Sunshine Advisors.
What's your name, sorry?
Informed that you had a car accident.
Sorry, what's your name?
My name is Daniel.
Daniel. Oh. Lovely to meet you, Daniel.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. So do you have any car accident?
Yes, I had one 2 weeks ago.
Okay. And please confirm, sir, how did that accident happen? What happened exactly at the time of accident?
Well, it's a bit of a blur at the minute because I don't know. I can't really remember it. What happened was I was on the M1 and I was coming out of the M1 and then all of a sudden there's a car.
Is he gone?
Oh, he's gone. Oh.
What is the purpose behind this call? I don't understand. Like you're actually telling him proper detail and it could be a serious call where he's actually found someone who's actually been in an accident. And
it's a waste of time.
But then why did it just lock off?
I don't know, man.
I don't understand what they get out of it. Like, is there an actual office somewhere in London or the UK or in India?
I think
because that guy sounded like he was from India.
How many Indian guys do you know is called Daniel?
His name is not Daniel.
His name's not fucking Daniel.
His name's not Daniel.
His name's Raj, bro.
Raj is Sanjeet. But
just you know what I mean? Accept it.
But I don't get it. Like there's an actual building somewhere where people call up people and find out if they've been in an accident.
How much do you think they're making?
I don't know. Like, if they can probably
enough to work on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. Like once they get through to a person, then they probably get some money out of it.
What the hell were we talking about? Because I feel like it was something. Yes, it was the iPhone.
No, it was all about Michael Jackson and
yes,
iPhone.
Michael Jackson. Yeah,
comparison. Oh yeah.
CFAX.
Huh?
It's called CFAX.
What?
The thing that I was talking about. Teletext.
Oh yeah, I've never seen it. I mean, I've seen it, but I don't feel like I've seen it 10 years ago. I feel like it. I think 10 years ago.
I'm from the slums, man.
We were quite advanced 10 years ago. What was I saying? Yeah, so like, is that Michael Jackson? Like his music, they have some music that he's left behind, and they're just like bringing it out and releasing it little by little.
Yeah, Michael Jackson's music will always come out. Like,
yeah,
I feel like
but then
even
they just
in the
like
next
mess it up as well. Like just like put some auto tune on it and like some like really modern beats on it. That
only recently Drake released a track with Michael Jackson.
Did he?
Yes, on his album. Do you not listen to his new album?
No, clearly not.
Bro, man, come on, man. You're missing out, man. You need to wake up. You need to.
I literally don't have a life. I'm not. I used to be so involved in like up to date with everything.
What kind of music do you listen to?
I would listen to music like Drake. I would listen to R&B, hip hop, but it would just be like random singles and stuff, not a whole album.
Mate, I'm telling you, you're missing out.
That makes sense.
Like Drake's album, obviously, I rate it very, very highly. But the whole concept of albums, they've changed since back in the days. And I'm really enjoying what albums are today than what it used to be. Because today, albums are they're like a story, like a synchronized piece of work which is there for a purpose. And not just to release tunes just for the sake of releasing tunes. Like, albums today mean something.
Right.
So if you was to listen to something, I don't know, let's say Travis Scott's album. Travis Scott's new album, it's such a unique piece of work that it jumps from one place to another. Like, one song will have 2 songs in it, and it's just really trippy.
It's so funny you say this, because I've got a cousin who, I don't know, maybe he's trying to be like he knows everything. Yeah. And he would just be like, oh no, music now is so shit. Like, it was better when Tupac was alive and Biggie. And it's like, well, you weren't alive or conscious like of your surroundings at that age for you to be able to relate to it. This is the thing,
when people say rap has changed so much and
but I feel like that particular cousin of mine is trying to be different and trying to be like he knows his shit.
Yeah, trust me,
but he doesn't know his shit at all.
My best mate's like that. He's a rebel. He likes to be very, very different. The thing with music, right? In order for music to evolve, society needs to evolve. In order to society to evolve, its landscape needs to evolve. The surroundings around society needs to change, right? So politics, gender roles, equality, race, people communicating with each other. Just so many different things needs to change in order for music to change. So back when Tupac and Biggie and Jay-Z and all these guys were around, we were at a time period where there was a lot of political instability, especially in racial communities.
Yeah.
So that was a period in time where conscious rap was present. Like conscious rap meaning people talking about a specific theme, someone who's, rapping about something important at that time. Something to do with race, something to do with the police, something to do with the government. Nowadays, we're not in that era anymore. We're in the era of making money, buying flashy cars, jewelry.
But don't you feel like that's sort of died down now?
Yeah, because I definitely think that.
Yeah, but because I feel like that was in like the 2000s and like what are we in now? What decade are we in now? Like,
well, late 2000s.
No, the 2000s are gone. The noughties are gone. What are we now?
Oh, fuck, I have no idea.
Yeah, well, whatever
social media era,
whatever decade this is called. Like in terms of like, you have 90s, noughties, whatever this is, whatever.
I definitely think this is a social media era.
But you can't be calling it a social media era.
You can.
No, you can't be like, oh, this is the 90s, noughties, social media area, 20s. What the hell are you talking about?
I don't know what you
30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s.
I think it's a revolution of technology.
I think we're talking about 2 different things.
No, I think the era that we're living in is the revolution of technology. Technology has taken over. I'm talking about
what we label this era, other than like what it's included, if that makes sense. I'm talking about in terms of 80s, 90s, noughties.
Yeah.
What is this? 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and going on.
I don't know, man.
That's what I mean.
I'm not complex, man. I don't know.
That's not complex, man. You're making it complex by labeling it. What was it?
Social media era.
Like, who the fuck knows what that means? Okay, I mean,
what were we talking about?
I don't know.
I'm going a bit off track.
We were
talking about music.
Oh, we were talking about music. Yeah. What was I saying? So I feel like the noughties, and then like I guess whatever part of decade we are in right now, the beginning part until the middle, has always been about like flashing and like women and stuff. And
it still is to some extent, but
it is
nowadays,
to some extent, but you still have conscious rap.
I like the era we're living in right now because there's so much diversity in music. People have
like. I mean, when you say diversity in music, what do you mean? Like, as in, because like R&B and hip hop has always been dominated by African American.
No. I mean, even in a particular genre of music, let's say hip hop, there is so much. There's a different range of hip hop. So you've got people that rap consciously. There's people that rap mumble rap. They've got mumble rap. They've got people that melody raps.
Okay.
You know, there's different, but and everyone has a different purpose for making music as well.
Mm-hmm.
So some people want to make music to make money. Other people make music to raise awareness. Other people make music to change the music industry that they're in. It's a numbers game at the end of the day, but I like the fact that everyone is so. Everyone has a purpose. It's not just to make money, to, you know, like I said, buy flashy cars. It's nice. Shall we move on?
Yep, let's move on.
I feel like we've touched on iPhone and it's bullshit to sell me crap I don't need to buy. Right.
But please do buy the AirPods because they're really cool, you know.
AirPods, you think so? But I really like the headphones that I'm wearing now.
I wouldn't want to be walking around with.
But these are sick.
These massive headphones. I mean, unless it's the summertime. But you know, winter time. Sorry, but when it's the summertime, like you can't be walking around like that. It's weird. Like it adds to. It's good when you have a lot of layers on. You got like a big puffy jacket. Like you can hide that shit. But in the summertime, you need something small and convenient.
So what's the AirPods like?
The quality is really cool. It's just basically connected to your phone through Bluetooth, and it does make you feel a bit like, wait a second, what if you're like developing some sort of cancers in your brain because of the way it's connected to your phone?
Really?
Well, I mean, it just become a bit. I mean, I'm over like thinking sometimes. You know what I mean? But like, it's a bit weird. Like people at work will be like to say to me like, oh, you, like, be careful, you might get brain cancer.
Wow.
But I mean,
that's with anything though.
Huh?
That's with anything.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the oxygen we breathe in is polluted anyway. But it's really cool. Like I just feel a lot. Like it's very simple. It goes with like the clothes that I wear. Like aesthetically, it looks.
Yeah,
cool.
It makes you look a little bit more futuristic, I guess.
Yeah.
Fuck being
and
futuristic.
The quality is good. It's not compromised.
I was gonna say, like, what's the point of me buying AirPods when I can just buy a box standard pair of Apple headphones, earphones?
Well, the ones with the wires.
Yeah.
Because they're bright. I've probably bought so many earphones over the past couple of years. Like because I'm really
3 months max.
And then like 25 quid. And then whereas when you just buy the AirPods, it's 100. I mean, 160. But at the same time, I did buy them quite recently, so I'm still to see how the longevity of them and to see how long they last me for before I need to buy.
When did you get your AirPods?
I want to say it's been a month.
A month.
A month and a half probably. But it feels like a really long time. So yeah, I mean, let's see how it goes, innit? Let's see if I haven't lost it yet, I haven't broken it yet.
Yeah, that's one thing that I'm really scared. Like, if you lose them, that's it.
They stick in your ears quite well. I mean, I think you can go to the Apple Store and like test them just to make sure that they do fit, because obviously people have different earlobes.
My earlobes are fucked.
But I mean, I guess if you're comfortable with the standard earphones, then the AirPods shouldn't be a problem. Like if there's in terms of fitting and stuff.
Well, if I ever need small headphones, I know where to go. Thank you very much for endorsing an Apple product.
I've basically sold it, isn't it?
Yeah, you're low key like a low key employee, innit?
By Apple.
Fuck Apple, man. They've done nothing good for me.
Fuck Apple.
Other than causing me problems.
He's using his
everything I'm using is Apple,
iPhone
like,
right
Apple,
now. Oh yeah, shit, your MacBook as well.
I've had his MacBook for 3 years, but it's caused me so much trouble. It's one of the reasons why I don't make YouTube videos, because of this godforsaken laptop. Piece of shit.
All right, next topic.
Right, so we're going to move on to movies. We've got Venom coming out.
Yep.
You're excited about that? No, it's not out yet.
It is out.
Bro, if it's out, I'm going to go watch it today.
It's out?
It's not out, because it looks so sick.
I swear
like, the trailer looks so mad. Tom Hardy looks so wavy in it. I'm so tempted to go and watch it today. If I have to go by myself, I'll go by myself.
Yeah. No, it looks sick. Like it's an anti-hero and it's like different. Because in terms of all the Marvel characters, my favorite is Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean everyone's a Spider-Man.
Ex-Spider-Man and X-Men as well.
Yeah.
Like, so for me, this is like really cool to see, like just like a different like aspect of that universe. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because I was gonna say when I was watching the trailer, it seemed as if the superhero was turned into a supervillain. Venom is not seen as someone who saves the world or saves people from trouble, but creates havoc, creates problems, and causes destruction.
Uh-huh.
So I like that element because
he's an anti-hero, basically. That's what you.
Yeah, he's an anti-hero. Yeah, and I like that because you don't see many superhero Marvel films that are that have that sort of setting, that have that.
I'm just trying to think. I feel like maybe. No, actually, in Black Panther, I don't know if you've seen Black Panther.
My brothers were watching it the other day. I haven't watched it, and
I can't believe.
And I know people are gonna. Every person says, "Oh, I can't believe you haven't watched it." But
it's like Avatar. When Avatar
films,
came out, right, and then
Avatar was like,
everyone's seen it, but then there's some people who haven't seen it yet, and they will be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, but it's like I can't be bothered to watch movies that are bang average.
It's not. I mean, I think
every person I've spoken to has given me the same review.
Black Panther.
Yeah, it's all right, but it's not amazing.
It's all right, but I think it's just what they did with that movie and the fact that it was revolutionary in the way that it was, like, you know, the first black superhero movie. Like, I think that's what makes it worth watching.
If it's not an amazing
but at the
movie,
same time, on a deeper level as well, you can see things like in terms of history. Like for me, I don't know, Michael B. Jordan's character.
Yeah.
He's like the Malcolm X of the movie, and then you
Hold on, is Michael B. Jordan in
Black Panther?
Really?
Yes, he's the anti-hero. I would say he's the anti-hero.
So
in my eyes, he's the anti-hero.
My man from Creed is the same character in Black Panther.
No, he's not the Black Panther.
Oh, but he's in there.
He's in the movie. He's Black Panther's half brother. Yeah, half brother, I think, or brother.
That's so wavy.
No, wait. Yeah,
Alright, I'm gonna have to give it a watch now.
Yeah,
because Michael B. Jordan is an amazing actor.
Yeah, and then obviously Black Panther himself, he's like Martin Luther King of that movie.
Oh, okay, I see what.
So you have they're both basically want the same kind of thing, but then you go about it in a different way.
Yeah.
So in that sense, Michael B. Jordan's character is an anti-hero.
Yeah.
In the same way, I guess, not in the same way, but Venom is an anti-hero as well. So we have seen an anti-hero in Marvel movies, but this is the first time I guess the anti-hero is the main character in the movie.
I'm still not gonna watch it.
What? Venom?
Not Venom.
Oh, Black Panther.
Black Panther, yeah.
Oh,
is it out? Please tell me it's out.
What, Venom?
Yeah.
Well, I'm seeing I'm looking 3rd of October. Oh no.
3rd of See, I told you. Don't get my hopes up like that, man. I was so ready to go and watch it because I was watching the trailer and I was thinking, I'm ready to watch this
Night
today.
School in the meantime.
Huh?
Night School with Kevin Hart.
Is that out?
That's out, yeah. I think
Today?
Yeah, that's out. Yeah, it went out yesterday.
That looks good as well.
It looks with Tiffany Haddish. It looks funny. It's like
there's so many good films out.
But I think Kevin Hart's movies are always like he throws out a lot of movies, but I think this one looks quite cool. I like the storyline of this one. Like someone who's given a second chance and
the Kevin Hart movie.
Yeah, the Kevin Hart movie. So given a second chance and he's trying
I don't know, man. I feel like all Kevin Hart movies are the same shit.
They're the same. It's like a bit like The Rock's movie. Like The Rock is a great guy, but his movies are just like bubblegum movies that like come out every summer and like springtime as well. But yeah.
Yeah, the problem with Kevin Hart movies, he plays the same dumb character, the same dumb guy that does something. He's stupid, but he does something to save the day.
But I feel like he's when he goes on, when he does like the PR stuff and like he goes onto the different shows and talks about the movie, his jokes and stuff are the same. And I was watching it the other day. I was like, I'm not finding him funny.
Do you find Kevin Hart funny?
Not anymore. I feel like
Have you ever found him funny?
When he started out,
I've never found Kevin Hart funny. And a lot of people look at me like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But he's never appealed to me.
No, like I feel like his jokes now are just becoming really, really boring at the moment. Like I just feel like it's very repeated.
His character, I mean, him as a person,
tiring.
Him as a person, as an individual, he's funny because certain things that he drops is just funny, like the way he drops it. But he's got like I don't find his jokes particularly funny. Do you know what I mean? It's like some people just have the character about them where things they say are just naturally funny. Like the things they will just the way they'll say it, the delivery. Yeah. And for example, so I'm gonna be watching Michael McIntyre next week. I'm psyched. I'm so stoked about that. I'm so excited, bro. I booked tickets like in April. And we're finally gonna see him next week. So I can't wait. And Michael McIntyre is a prime example of someone who has funny jokes. But he can also drop it. And his delivery is amazing. But his jokes, more importantly, are very, very funny.
What was that? Russell Peters? Remember him? Russell Peters.
Yeah, Russell Peters, yeah.
He's funny as well. Like his delivery and like, because his jokes are funny. Like his ones that were like based on race as well, isn't it? All the time. I remember when he was mixing up people like Indian and Chinese Chindian. I don't know if you've seen that video. It's so funny.
No, I haven't, but it doesn't sound funny to me.
Oh, it's hilarious. And then when he talks about how the Chinese like people basically going to these designer stores, and then like when the sales assistant isn't watching, they take pictures of all the products and then basically send it off to China and get it made over there. It's so hilarious. My delivery is basically shit, but when he says it, it's funny.
Well, yeah, that's the thing with people. You either got it or you don't. Yeah. Kevin Hart, I'll pass. I don't, and I think a lot of people find him funny because he's especially the black community, because he's black, and it's someone to like support because he's black. Do you know what I mean?
No, but then you have a lot of other comedians like Chris Tucker.
Black.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? But then
what I'm saying, the reason why he's gained such a big fat following is because he appeals universal. To the black community.
He's universal.
Oh, come on.
He is universal.
The white people only follow him and like him because of the reputation he built through the black community.
Yeah, well, he's become universal. He was probably particularly gained a particular audience, and now he's branched out and he's universal and he can be understood by different audiences.
I just think white people laugh because...
Well, do you think he's being stereotypical, and that's why they're laughing at it?
I just feel like
why are we always picking up on white people though? Why can't we say Asian people?
What do you mean?
Like, you know how you just said how white people would just find it funny because of the reputation it's built, but then wouldn't Asian people go and watch a Kevin Hart movie as well?
All right,
and then
so
do you know what I mean?
Look, the way it works, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's American, we're talking about an American society. So the way it works, you have culture, you have white culture, and you have other culture. Other culture is built up of
everyone else:
African Americans, Mexicans, Asians, others.
Okay.
The sense of otherness.
I see what you mean.
Do you know what I mean?
So you're trying to basically say everyone who's not white.
Everyone
can
who's
relate
not
with one another.
Well, look, we gotta be careful because there are gonna be black people, there are gonna be Asians, there are gonna be Mexicans who are gonna fall under the white umbrella.
Because I find it always weird how people
they're gonna fall under the white umbrella because of the culture. So when I talk about black and when I talk about white, I don't mean skin color. I'm referring to the culture.
Because I find that weird.
Values,
I find that weird because when people say, "Oh, it's black and white," or do you know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking to myself, "What about?" It's not.
I think when people say black and white, they're really referring to the cultural differences.
Yeah. I never really understood that until quite recently. I was like, "Oh, that's what they mean." Like before, I was like, "Then what about us lot? Like, where do we fit in this? Because we're not black, we're not white."
I've never felt a part of any culture.
What, as in when it comes to being black or white?
Black or white, or oh, there's a wasp outside your window. If anyone wants to come in,
I'm actually feeling really warm.
It's disgusting. Don't open it. I've never felt a part of any sort of society or any. I've never felt I've belonged in any particular group. I think I've spoken about this before.
No, I feel you as well because I feel the same way. Like I find like when I go to like weddings and stuff, like Pakistani weddings, like as in family weddings as well. I can't relate to it, but I feel like I can relate to it quite recently now. Like I just feel like, you know what, like I'm accepting this.
You're accepting that side of you.
I'm like, this is actually quite cool. Like I feel like I'm rediscovering.
Because you feel welcomed. You're welcomed in that sort of.
Because there was a time when I was like, you know, fuck Bollywood movies. Bullshit.
Cringy.
They're still ridiculously stupid as well, but I'm starting to like enjoy it, and then like I listen to songs. I'm like, oh, I remember this song when I was like 10 years old or something, and it'd be playing like, you know, in my household and stuff.
Yeah.
And, like, it brings back memories of like my childhood and stuff. So I'm kind of to like, even though it's not Pakistani, it's Indian, it's still part of the same culture.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to like accept things which I used to always reject. But yeah, it takes time to like rediscover it, I guess. Like,
not me, man. I'm a lone wolf. I'm a lone warrior. I'm on my own, man.
You're not accepting it.
What's that?
You're not accepting your Bengali culture.
No, I never liked culture as.
I don't think there's anything wrong with culture. I just don't like it when people mix culture and religion. That's what I think
there's a big issue with culture. Full stop. Culture is beautiful, right? But there's a massive problem with culture in that it excludes anyone who isn't a part of that culture. So, if you're an individual who is part of a culture, is part of a society, but is open to alternative cultures, alternative ideas, alternative societies, and can implement bits of other people's societies and cultures into your own values.
But you could do that though, can't you?
Yeah, I love that. I love the idea.
You could be Bengali and you'd be like, yeah, I'm Bengali, and then like
I'm not. Listen, I'm not. I've accepted, and well, it's part of my DNA. It's part of my identity that I'm Bangladeshi. I'm a Bangladeshi British guy.
Do you do the DNA heritage? I mean, the DNA test.
I haven't, man. I need to do it.
Did we talk about this?
We did talk about it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we didn't. I forgot.
I need to find out whether I'm actually Bangladeshi or not.
For those who are listening, I did mine as well. And it's really, no, it wasn't really worth it actually. You spend like 100. Actually, I didn't spend £100. Actually, I spent less than that because it was on sale. But I expected like crazy shit to come back.
Right.
But then deep down, I was like, no, it's just going to be basically South Asian. Yeah. And it doesn't even break up like what part of South Asia either. It doesn't tell you if you're like Pakistani, Indian, Bengali. It just says South Asia. But yeah, it just came back as 96 or 97% South Asian. I'm like, what?
How did that make you feel? You thought you were special, innit?
I thought I was special. I was like, I'm going to have some like, I don't know, Native American.
Low-key, you're expecting like Puerto Rican or something.
Yeah, like.
Bear luck next time.
Yeah, I know. Next time. You got to carry on.
Just manipulate the results, man. Just find that 1% in like Barbados or something.
Yeah, but then I was like really proud of the 1% Fijian I had, and then 1% Melanesia. And I was like, oh shit, that's sick. I was like, yeah, I'm related to the Rock, basically.
Nah, long fam. I can't be bothered with that. I'll just accept who I am, a fellow human being roaming around the earth, trying to get by.
In
London.
Yeah. What were we talking about again? I forgot.
Yeah,
movies. We're talking about movies.
Of course, yeah. So we were talking about Venom.
So should we move on to the next one though? I mean, I think this movie.
We didn't even say anything about Venom.
We did. We talked about the anti-hero. That's pretty much it, really, isn't it?
Listen, Tom Hardy looks like he's gonna be.
Oh no, we need to talk about Riz Ahmed.
Is he in that film as well?
Did you not watch the trailer?
Yeah, I did. But what character was he in there?
He's playing. I think he's the villain. I don't really know much about this part of Spider-Man, but he's playing Carlton Drake. So he's a person who's in charge of I think he's in charge. I might be completely wrong, but a person who basically controls the whole Venom disease.
No, that's not Riz Ahmed, is it?
That is Riz Ahmed.
I need to have a look at this on Google Images right now. Riz Ahmed Venom. Who is he? No, that's him.
Yeah, man.
That's wavy. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I had no idea that was him. They did a good job on his makeup and stuff then.
He looks exactly the same.
He doesn't. I don't think he looks exactly the same.
He looks the same. There's nothing different about him. He looks like Riz Ahmed. Riz Ahmed looks like Riz Ahmed. There's nothing there.
No, because the Riz Ahmed I know is the guy from Four Lions.
Yeah. And he looks exactly like the guy from Four Lions.
He
doesn't look any different at all.
He looks European. He looks like an American.
No, he doesn't.
That's good on him, man.
Are you trying to say that Europeanized him? Is that a word?
No, he just looks European. He just doesn't look Asian.
No, he doesn't. Carlton Drake. Let me Google it right now. See an image. I might get the comic book images actually. Yeah, my 4G is quite slow.
Both of ours is in the middle of nowhere. No, but I'm happy for Riz Ahmed. He deserves it, man. I think he's been doing really, really well.
He looks Asian.
No, but he doesn't look like Riz Ahmed. That doesn't look like Riz Ahmed. Jeez, that's amazing. Yeah. Oh, I have to definitely watch the film now.
Yeah, it's great to see him actually in this kind of movie. Like he's obviously been in Rogue One.
It's good for British actors.
It's good for British actors. No, well, actually, British actors are doing really, really well.
Yeah, they are.
Hollywood. Like even the TV shows and stuff like Walking Dead. I don't know, like Rick is played by a British actor, and I wouldn't have believed it because the American accents are really good. But there are so many American TV shows where the main characters are played by British actors. So I think British people are doing amazing in Hollywood. But it's great for British Pakistani actors or British Asian actors.
Oh, here we go. Here's the cultural conversation coming in.
Yeah, I know. It's so difficult to avoid this conversation. It's in everything we're talking about. But it's great to sort of see.
No, it's good to see Riz Ahmed doing his thing, man, because I've always rated him.
It's great to see someone who's of that background playing a non-stereotypical character.
I've always rated him as an actor. I think he's been sick, really good.
But he's done a lot of stereotypical stuff though. Four Lions, he's done a movie on Guantanamo Bay as well.
Yep.
Another bunch of movies on terrorism in the UK. But it's great to see him breaking away from that with Star Wars and this movie as well. And he did a movie, a drama series actually called The Night Of, and that's quite intense. You need to watch that. It's on Sky.
The Night Of.
Yeah, that's a really good one. It's so intense.
Well, talking about intense, move on to the second movie, Creed.
I watched the first one, and I'm not like I don't really follow the series before that. Do you know what I mean? Like the whole Rocky situation.
Movies.
Yeah.
Oh come on, you're joking.
I've never.
No.
Yeah, I've never like.
Oh, you're breaking my
just
heart.
know of it. I just know of the stereotype, like the race up the
You need to
the steps in Philadelphia.
Rocky. The most amazing series of movies is the Rocky series.
Yeah. I mean, it did inspire me to watch the old ones when I watched the first one.
The Rocky films are the best.
I never got around to doing it.
I'm telling you, the Rocky films are the best.
Mm.
In terms of a set of movies, Harry Potter.
Oh, that's amazing.
Rocky.
Back
to the Future.
Those
three. Oh, bro, you need to live, man. I'm telling you got a lot of movies to watch, man.
Yeah, I never watched Back to the Future. But talking about Harry Potter, actually.
Go on. Fantastic Beasts, new episode.
How does that
movie coming up?
Did you see the snake, Nagini, Voldemort snake?
Yeah, I heard about that controversy.
I was like, whoa! It looked really cool because like I never expected to be an Asian woman.
What's wrong with that?
But what's the controversy? I don't know. Is it that they don't want it to be played by an Asian person, or
no? They don't want it to be played by. They don't want it to be a female because feminists are arguing that by her being the female, she's the product of a male.
Yeah, I can see the problem in that.
I don't see a problem with that. What's the problem with that?
It's a bit like she's the assistant, isn't it?
So what?
The sidekick. But then again, sidekicks have generally been men, right?
Yeah, look at Robin. And furthermore,
but then if you think about Robin,
look at the rat that played what's his name? The rat in Harry Potter. He was Voldemort's assistant.
Yeah, but at the same but he was more of a disposable one. This one is more of the one that's actually connected to Voldemort. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Because obviously it's the Horcrux as well.
Yeah.
But thinking about sidekicks and I guess where that argument comes from, think about Robin. Robin's always been like people think he's gay, isn't it?
Do they?
I swear they do.
I don't know. I've never heard that before.
I've always heard that like Robin's like considered feminine or not even feminine, but like just gay because he's the sidekick.
Yeah.
So I can sort of see where that feminism argument comes from.
Right.
Because sidekicks are always seen as lesser than or more feminine or like basically the female of the relationship.
Right.
Which is why that argument comes through basically when it comes to Voldemort Snake. Wait, that sounds weird. But yeah,
I still think it's ridiculous. I still don't think there's an argument there to be made. She's an actress. She wants to, like let her do the role. Like that's.
But then another argument I've heard because I thought the issue was the fact that it's an Asian character who's playing a villain.
What's wrong with that? How many Asian characters play villains?
Not many actually.
No, yeah.
Yeah, but then it's great. I mean, you have more representation of people playing different types of characters. Why is everything turning into race?
Everything. I told you, we're living in a day and age, man. It's race, religion,
and
it's partition, and it's culture, and it's
annoying. Let's move on to I think Creed was a movie that we could talk about where.
Yeah, Creed. So the whole plot twist with Creed is that basically in the old Rocky movies,
he's got a child in this movie.
Yeah. So the old Rocky movie, which you need to watch because it's so intense and it's so amazing. Rocky fights Apollo Creed. Is a character in the Rocky sequel, and Apollo Creed fights this Russian dude who he dies.
Yeah.
Apollo Creed dies.
Yeah.
From this Russian dude. So Creed 2 is and Creed is Apollo Creed's son, right? So the Russian dude that killed Apollo Creed, his son is now going to be fighting Creed in the second one.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is cool, but
we know what's gonna happen anyway.
Yeah.
He's gonna train.
Listen,
up for
unless
spy
Creed
and
dies,
he's gonna
unless
win.
Creed dies, this whole movie is going to be The same old
I don't
shit.
think that's a bit taking it a bit too far now. He's gonna die.
No, you need to end it on an anticlimax.
It's gonna basically just be like, oh, he's trying so hard to really train up for the fight, and then it's gonna be a moment in the fight where it looks like he's gonna lose, but he pulls through and wins, and then that's the end of the story.
Well, exactly. So why would I pay my hard-earned money to go and watch that?
It's one of those movies that you watch for inspiration.
No, man.
It's one of those
something intense needs to happen.
And like
something needs to happen.
You see the training and stuff. Like, it's not one of those. It's not like a Harry Potter movie where something like you left on a cliffhanger. Do you know what I mean? Like it's gonna just settle down and it's gonna be a happy ending.
Well, something better. It better ends in a cliffhanger because 2018. You need to be, creative with this shit.
Nah, I think it's gonna be one of those other sports movies where people pull through. They either it's like Karate Kid. He won, didn't he?
Yeah, Karate Kid won. But
yeah,
that film was amazing.
He won that fight with the bully, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was a good movie.
That was a very good movie.
Kick at the end, remember?
Yeah, the story in that was really good.
That movie came out 10 years ago, by the way, like 2009. Well, nearly 10 years ago.
Bloody hell, man.
Or 10 was it 2010? And anyway, yeah, like it's gonna be one of those kind of movies where he either wins and he's like totally fine with it, and it's like a happy ending, or he loses but he learns something from it.
Yeah,
and then that's it.
Dead. I'm not interested.
Yeah,
I'm not sold. Sorry.
But the trailer looks sick though.
Trailer does look good. I must say, there's a good few movies that are coming out. I know like the last few months it's been a dry patch.
I don't feel that there's any. This whole year I don't think there's been a movie which I've been like, oh, that's. So
I watched a movie a few months. I think a month
one,
ago. Really, really bad movie. I thought it was going to be good, but there was nothing better on. It was to do with the KKK.
Oh, the Black Klansman.
Yeah.
I've seen a trailer for it, but it looks boring.
It was okay. Could have been better. Dragged on a bit too long.
But is it a comedy?
No.
I thought it was a comedy.
I thought it would be a comedy as well. It wasn't a comedy though, but it was alright. It was decent.
I was thinking of watching that, but then I watched Crazy Rich Asians instead.
It's very. What did you watch?
Crazy Rich Asians. No, I watched it. I took my sister to the cinema and she wanted to watch a movie.
Yeah.
And then we were like, oh, let's go watch Black Klansman. And then I looked at the trailer and I thought the trailer looked so boring.
Yeah.
And then we just watched Crazy Rich Asians instead.
It was okay. It wasn't anything special. I wouldn't watch it again.
But it was a weird movie to watch with your sister.
Yeah. But talking of movies, in fact, this is just totally irrelevant. I'm just trying to move on. The YouTube video that you watched today.
Oh yeah.
That was intense, right?
Very intense.
I want to talk about this because this is very, very important.
I'm not a big. I mean, I don't have time anymore.
Yep.
To be getting involved in like watching YouTubers and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I do know of these characters. I know of Jake Paul.
Yep.
And the other dude.
Logan Paul.
I know of them. I know he had a match with the other British dude. I forgot his name now. KSI, exactly.
Comedy Shorts Gamer, Deji.
Couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
I actually saw KSI in Westfield one time.
Did you?
Yeah, and then I just didn't make a big deal of it because I didn't want him to like.
Yeah, he's such a waste man. I can't stand him.
I didn't want to like boost his ego because it was like. I watched the movie at Westfield in Stratford.
Yeah.
And then we were basically leaving the shopping centre. It was completely dead.
Yeah.
And then he was there with his friends and stuff. But then I just carried on walking like I didn't know who he was.
I don't think you could push his ego any higher than it already is.
So I was just acting like whatever, innit. Yeah, so I just watched the whole video. I was like, whoa, this guy's actually really crazy. Because I know of his brother when he went into suicide.
Well, let's talk about let me introduce the video itself so everyone else knows what it's about. This YouTube video out. Who put it out there? So he's making a series. I forgot his name.
It's so weird how this stuff is so brand new and we're already getting documentaries. As though it happened like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It's so weird how people are making documentaries on stuff like this that's happening currently or happened like a couple of months ago.
Well, yeah.
It's so bizarre.
This is the world that we live in. So Shane, the YouTuber, he's made a YouTube video called The Dark Side of Jake Paul. Mm-hmm. It's a series. So the first video is called The Mind of Jake Paul, and then the second one is called The Dark Side of Jake Paul. Basically, the series is about YouTubers. By extension, it's talking about YouTube and YouTubers. So the mindset of a YouTuber. But more specifically, I think Jake Paul's used as an example to see the traits and the characteristics of these individuals and how they can be shaped up to turn into a sociopath.
Yeah. Because we've spoken about this a couple of times, but like really briefly about how, because when you're doing your YouTube stuff, you were finding it quite difficult to.
Oh, big time.
To create content, and whenever something did happen and you didn't have a camera in your hand, I guess it was frustrating.
Yeah.
But I've seen it in other YouTubers as well who've quit YouTube for a bit and have come back to it. But then the reason why they would quit initially was because they're constantly thinking about YouTube and thinking about, oh, I should have recorded this moment, I should have recorded that moment.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they don't really have much to show when they actually release.
Well, this is the problem with YouTube, you see. And I say YouTube, I don't know who I should be addressing this to, the creators or YouTube, the platform. The problem that lies in the platform is that the creators are in a community that is driven by views, subscribers, likes, and what youngsters are calling today clout.
What's clout?
This is how you know we're old. Clout is like reputation. It's like gaining status.
It sounds like a STD.
It sounds like an STD. It might as well be an STD because
it's like the clap, isn't it?
It's as bad as that, really. Clout, yeah. So clout is like reputation. It's like status, and that's the problem with YouTube. YouTube has turned itself into a community where the creators are only chasing clout, only trying to get successful, only trying to gain money and subscribers, and that's what it will always be. It's a game at the end of the day. You don't go on YouTube to put videos out there just for the sake of putting videos out there. As much as I claim that to be my sole purpose, it wasn't that.
Do you know what, watching that documentary is it reminded me of the difference? Because these people are famous, right? These YouTubers are famous. And it reminded me of the problems like singers, for instance, that when they do something terrible, how they bounce back from it. They don't continue to do the bullshit that they got in trouble for the first time. Do you know what I mean? Like, say, for instance, Chris Brown, or I can't think of anyone else really, but he obviously did a terrible thing and then he stepped away before he came back in, and then he did a lot in order to show that to prove that he's changed. If that makes sense. He's not carrying on and doing the terrible thing that he did initially and got in trouble for, whereas these YouTubers continue to do so. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think.
But is the reason why Chris Brown has stopped doing these things because society has told him that it's bad, and we're going to push you out of our sphere of influence if you don't stop. Otherwise, he would have continued.
But he does. He's still got a reputation. He still has been in a lot of problems.
Yeah.
But not as severe as the first time. If that makes sense. So
would you class him as a sociopath because he clearly doesn't care about his victims? He just cares about himself.
But then he's sometimes put in situations. I think there's two, because he goes forward and sort of claims, oh, there's two sides of the story, and then obviously puts his side of the story out. Where in his side of the story, he's like, I didn't do anything at all.
But that's the big trait of a sociopath, that they blame everyone else other than themselves. Everything is about them.
So, but then when we see these videos, and like when in that documentary that you told me to watch, you see, what's his name again? Jake Paul.
Yes, Jake Paul. Yeah.
He'll be going around and spitting on like women in his house or whatever, and like lighting people on fire and stuff.
Yeah.
He's doing that in front of a camera.
Yeah.
And he knows it's going to get posted for millions of people to watch. Whereas someone like Chris Brown or any other artist or famous person out there wouldn't do that deliberately in front of a camera.
Why not?
Because they don't want to be exposed in that way, whereas this person wants to be exposed.
So that's a really interesting point that you made there.
The difference is that for someone who's famous for music or acting, their whole career can go down the toilet.
Yeah.
If they were to portray that behavior, whereas a YouTuber will continue to portray it because it still gets them the views. Do you know
so that's so interesting that you mentioned that, because anyone else, any one of us, me and you, any normal person with a conscience would question themselves before putting out a video of something that's controversial. So if we were to slap someone or push someone or spit at someone or even talk to someone, like talk down to someone, before putting that video up, we'd question ourselves, like, is this right? I don't really want to portray myself as this kind of person. Should I put this video up?
Yeah.
But for someone like Jake Paul, Logan Paul, or any other YouTuber like who has influence, their only objective is to push content which is out of the boundaries of I don't know, moral goodness. So morally, they need to put they need to put content out which is immoral in order to gain the subscribers, the likes, the success on that platform.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's like when they put like how they title their videos, like I blew up my car or whatever. Like that's gonna make me want to click on it.
Yeah.
And even if you say something stupid like, "Oh, I slapped my friend with, I don't know, a plank of wood," I would want to watch that, even though I know it's wrong and it's bad and it's a person is basically ridiculously needs help. I would still want to click on that button and watch it. It's a bit like when you watch movies as well. Like you watch movies that are, with I don't know, the Statue of Liberty being destroyed and London Bend being destroyed. Obviously, that kind of stuff that when it happens in real life, it's ridiculous and it's hard to watch. But we still pay to go watch movies where monuments like that are being destroyed. Yeah, do you know what I mean? So it's a bit like obviously 9/11. A disaster, but if we were to see it in a movie, we would be happy to pay and watch it in a movie and pay and watch it at a cinema. Do you know what I mean? So it's that kind of stuff, and it's because we want to see pain inflicted on people. That's why they're getting these views, and it's like I guess it's our fault and it's our curiosity. It's our curiosity as well. That's is what basically sparks these videos and these people to continue to put them out, and that's when we're the driving force behind it.
So what do you think? Do you think Jake Paul's a sociopath?
I think we've made him to a sociopath. We've pushed him to that point because we said to him, "Oh, it's okay. You can do X, Y, Z." Yeah. And we're gonna carry on watching you and supporting you in that way.
That's so interesting you say that because Shane, the guy who's making the documentary, he hasn't touched on that. The only thing that he touches on is how his own actions and his own, again, quote unquote, clout chasing has made him into. So has put him in that position.
It's put him in that position, yeah.
But no one has mentioned the fact that the audience are
the driving force.
Probably the driving force to the actions that he's committing.
Yeah, 100%. Like, because I think towards the end of the video, he mentioned how he was really like a normal person. He was cool, and then obviously comparing it to what he's putting out now, it's the complete opposite. So obviously we've driven him to become the person he is today because we've been clicking on his videos and we've been supporting him and saying, yes, what you're doing is okay. He has obviously probably been I don't know, I don't really follow it. He has been told off on several occasions, but I guess compared to Logan Paul where he did that video, that's on next another level. Yeah. So what levels are we basically putting out there? Like you can spit on someone, you can slap someone in the face. Yeah. That's okay, but if you were to show someone a dead body out in a forest somewhere, then that's wrong. Like there are levels to this stuff. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of weird as to what point a person gets basically called out for their actions. Do you know what I mean? Like he hasn't done anything on that level yet, has he? No. But I'm asking you, has he?
Well, no, he hasn't. But he's been a bit of a nuisance.
But what he's been doing is being consistent.
Yeah.
His actions and behaviour has been consistent. He hasn't been anything outrageous as what his brother has done.
No, you're right. But I guess the scary thing is how much longer until it gets to the point where you're pushing the boundaries so hard and so far that you do something which is unforgivable and something that you can't go back and fix.
Isn't his brother like accepted again?
Yeah, I mean that's the scariest part.
What kind of videos is he putting out?
The same shit that he releases all the time.
So
vlog content.
Is he as violent as his brother?
I don't think any of them are violent. They don't come across as being violent.
In the videos I've seen, they're violent.
The videos that they make are there for entertainment purposes, and they're there to push the boundaries of entertainment.
But at the expense of other people.
Yes.
So let's slap this person because we.
So the people that are involved in their videos are essentially guinea pigs.
They're props.
Yeah, they're props and they're guinea pigs.
They're props, and they've all basically left him as well, isn't it? Sort of.
Yeah, I mean, the majority of people in Team 10 have left him.
Exactly. So they're props, and it shows that they're doing it at their expense. It's not like they're actors.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? These are real life, real people in real situations being slapped and beaten up, and there are real reactions as well.
So let me paint a little scenario for you. Let's say Jake Paul and Logan Paul, they're at the height of success, and someone can take that away. Someone has got something against them that will remove all fame that they have. Do you think then they'll be in a position where they are capable of going so far to the extreme of killing someone in order to save their career, their reputation, what they've built?
Oh, right, I see what you mean.
Because the biggest trait of a sociopath is that they only care for themselves and everyone else is just irrelevant. Everyone else is a pawn in their chess game.
It's a bit like when you put yourself in a situation where you be like, oh, would you save your mum or would you save this person? Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, you'll be like, I'll save my mum. Is that kind of situation you're putting me
But are these two YouTubers capable of going to the extreme of?
Or what about if someone
murder?
asked you, would you slap your mum, or would you slap a stranger down the road?
Well, it depends, context.
Well, true. But if you for £1 million, would you slap your mum or would you slap someone on the road?
I would ask my mum permission if I could slap her in the face for £1 million and then change her life.
Yeah.
But when we're talking,
I don't know why I brought this up. It doesn't really fit in at all.
Huh?
I don't know why I brought that up. I don't think it fits.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It's a really bad example. It's a terrible example. I was thinking, what the hell are you doing?
I'm trying to think of something in my head, but it's just like I can't think of the right example to put out.
I'm just trying to make the point here that I feel like we're at a stage now where YouTubers, they're so desperate to retain, especially I'm talking about influential YouTubers, they're so desperate to retain what they have.
But how's FouseyTube doing, by the way?
Huh?
How's FouseyTube doing?
Who's?
Fousey.
FouseyTube's apparently he's selling his YouTube, but not selling it. Apparently he's giving his YouTube channel to someone.
But then that's
well, that's someone else that we want to talk about. FouseyTube, is he a sociopath?
I don't think he's. I think he's just depressed and he's going through
his characteristics and his actions definitely point towards that.
I don't feel that he is a sociopath. I don't think he's going around beating people up.
No, but you don't necessarily need to beat someone up.
No, but then what is a sociopath then? Sociopath is someone who goes around and causes harm, right?
No, your characteristics are like, as a sociopath, your characteristics are you're self-centered, you lack empathy.
I don't think FouseyTube lacks empathy.
But he's self-centered.
He's self-centered.
It's someone who dictates. It's someone who's so manipulative that they can change. It's someone who pretends to be someone they're not. So they can easily change their character to suit whoever they're communicating with. So I can be someone who I'm not just to make you like me. Make sense?
I never knew what a sociopath was until you just told me.
Yeah, that's a sociopath. A sociopath is someone who is so manipulative that they can dictate the course of a conversation with someone, or they can control a relationship with someone.
Oh, that's quite difficult now.
And that's scary.
It's quite difficult to put someone like FouseyTube into that category because I'm not too sure anymore.
Well, let's look. I mean, again, this is just broad. This is like a broad conversation with YouTube and YouTubers and the purpose of why they create content, and going so far as to say that the content that they create is only for the purpose of gaining popularity and becoming one of these quote-unquote YouTubers. So are all YouTubers sociopaths? Do all YouTubers do they all have this common characteristic? group of characteristics.
That's hard now. I can't really judge that, to be honest with you. Now that's very, very difficult. I feel like sociopath is such a harsh word. It's so exaggerated. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's such a big word to be labeling someone.
I'll go as far as to say the majority of influential people in this world are sociopaths, because when you get to that level of influence, power, money, you want nothing more but to retain it and gain more. So you have to do whatever you have to do in order to get more. It becomes an addiction, and I can't say that because obviously I'm not in that position to say because I've never experienced it. But what I see, the society and the world that we live in, the sort of analysis that I've made around the world is that money, power, influence is the be all and end all.
Yeah, this is going on to the next topic, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, look, we've basically come to the end of the podcast.
Yeah,
it's been 1.5 hours now.
Yeah.
Really, the last topic was whether YouTubers are sociopaths, and I think we've come to an agreement where you can't really label anyone as a sociopath.
No, it's quite hard, especially like there's so many out there anyway.
But YouTubers all put a persona. When they're recording themselves on a camera, that's an act.
But then what about actors?
Okay. Yeah, but actors separate their lives from their works, their careers. An actor is a genuine person off the camera, whereas a YouTuber is the same person on camera as they are off camera, because the things that they're recording are part of their private life.
When you were YouTubing, were you the same person on camera as you were off camera?
See, this is why I wanted to speak about this, because as a fellow YouTuber, not YouTuber, but as someone who makes content or who used to make content for YouTube, for my channel, I know how a YouTuber or a person who wants to get to that level feels, and it's a very toxic feeling. It's very, very, I can't explain it, but for me, when I was making content, I would say to myself, I'm making content because I want to, because I enjoy it. But in the back of my mind, I know I'm in competition with XYZ. I know I need to gain this amount of views, this amount of subscribers in order to feel somewhat satisfied. And if one of my videos didn't achieve the number of views I wanted it to, that would send me down to rock bottom. And that was one of the reasons why I stopped making YouTube videos, because I got to a point where I was so frustrated that I wasn't achieving what I wanted to achieve. I just couldn't bear it anymore. I couldn't bear the thought of picking up a camera. It would make me feel anxious.
So you were going down the route of someone who was chasing clout.
Yes. and I sitting here right now, I feel so comfortable, and I'm proud of myself because I was able to notice that was what YouTube was doing to me.
Yeah.
I was going to a place.
But then what about now, like with this stuff that you're doing?
That's what I was going to come to. I was going to come to the fact that this is something which is so real, and so, I mean, I love what I do right now, and I know this is only episode 5, but because this is so real and this is so natural and it's not forced, I love what I do right now. I would prefer any day of the week to be podcasting rather than making a YouTube video, because with podcasting we're talking about real life issues, things that are happening around the world, and I don't need to put a persona. I can put my opinions on the table. And I can have someone sitting next to me, and I can have a genuine conversation with them without needing to put an act.
Yeah.
It's a very nice form of therapy.
Yeah, because I can't see how this, even though you might be concerned about how many people are listening. Yeah. I can't see how this can affect your behavior.
Let's be honest, yeah. I'm gonna make one thing very, very clear, yeah. This podcast has been set up to be made into a successful podcast show. I'm not making content that I enjoy, of course I enjoy this, I love it. But the purpose of me making this podcast isn't because I enjoy it and I want to talk and I want to come on a show and I just want to express my emotions. It's because I want to make this podcast show successful. I want an audience base. I want people to listen. That I mean, does that make me a sociopath?
Then it's quite difficult for you to be able to do something outrageous on here as well.
Yeah.
Like all you can do is just change what you talk about.
Yeah.
Which isn't that difficult to do, and you're not like, oh, I need to record that. You know, you're more in control of when you capture your content.
Yeah.
Rather than like, oh, something just happened when I was walking down Oxford Street, I should record that.
Well, I pray I never get to a point where I'm having to force myself to get myself up and make an episode, because that would be, again, the same shit that I went through with YouTube.
I think it's completely two different things. I don't think you're gonna go down that route again.
I feel sorry for the kids that are gonna be growing up, the little kids, the toddlers who are growing up in this day and age of YouTube, where everything around them is YouTube or content made by others. And by that I mean they're exposed to the social media world. Everything they breathe, they see, eat, breathe is social media.
Yeah.
Even my neighbor, they have a baby. She's 2 years old now. I've known her since birth basically, and her life is a mobile phone.
Yeah, it's a bit like when I see, like in my family as well, like the kids of, like the babies were basically just born in the last couple of years. Like they just literally have their own iPads and stuff. And
she can't function. She can't eat without her mobile phone.
I think the old, like I've got a cousin who's also like, I want to say 18, 19 years old, but his life, the way he grew up, we're not that obviously that much difference in age.
Yeah.
But the way he grew up is very similar to how the babies who are being born now are growing up. That makes sense. Like he, as a kid, he used to always have a Game Boy in his hand. Like he would eat whilst watching TV. He wouldn't be able to eat if the TV wasn't on.
Yeah.
He's part of that generation as well. Even though there's not that much of a difference between us in age, so I can sort of see. I've seen it, and I can see it now as well, even more so because obviously the technology has changed. So now people have their own iPads, and there's platforms like YouTube where people are in control of what they consume.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more different now than it was back then. I think like my cousin, for instance, he's totally fine, even though he's had some sort of media in front of him.
Yeah.
But the media obviously has changed today. And that makes it, as you said, a lot more dangerous.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the near future with kids.
Yeah, it's also funny, like, I mean, just how old are Jake Paul's fans? Like, they're like
very young, 10-year-olds.
10-year-olds, like, obviously seeing domestic violence and
yeah. Can you imagine the traumatic, the trauma in their brain, the impact, the effects that's going to have on their long-term psychological impact? The psychological mindset, sorry.
Yeah, so exactly. It's not, I don't think media is bad. I just think the type of media that we have.
The type of media,
is
what they consume.
Is what's potentially damaging.
Your brain is a very precious bit of equipment.
I tend to think we're like in control of it, but we're not.
Yeah, I'm so glad that we were born in the era that we were born in, because we're literally just before the social media revolution, technological revolution. So we had some sense of real life, really. We were born before Facebook was created. We were born on the brink of all of that happening. Yeah, so we've seen it from the start.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
All right. I think we're going to wrap it up.
Yeah.
This has been a very, very fruitful and insightful discussion. I think this has been my favorite podcast.
Really?
Really.
I need to listen to the other ones then.
This has been really, really good. I've really, really enjoyed this, because this is actually the first time where I've actually had a really meaningful conversation. All the others were about trending topics, which, I don't give a fuck about. But it's things to talk about. But
that's what happens when you talk to an introvert.
Yeah. So you're introverted as well?
Something I've realized about myself recently. I'm an introvert.
I rate that,
because I hate small talk.
100%. I'm an introvert as well.
I hate small talk, even at work as well. Like I'm just like it's fun. Like you see the people. I love going into work.
Yeah.
But then, like when you walk past someone in a corridor and stuff, and then you have to force a small talk.
That's one thing I would hate when I was at work. Like there will be the same conversation every week. On a Friday, happy Friday. On a Monday, happy Monday. How you been? How's your weekend been?
Good. I hate the beginning sentences of an email.
Monday conversations.
And then sometimes I'm trying to like be different because I don't want to say the same shit over and over again. And I'm like spending half an hour trying to think of what to begin my email with. But I'm not a small. I tolerate small talk.
Yeah.
I don't really like it. I prefer deep, meaningful conversations. Yes. When it comes to like spending time, I like to spend time on my own. But then you do obviously need a bit of like social interaction as well. But like I do like to sort of police it. Like I mean, not police it, but like I don't like. I do like my own space.
Yes.
Like, there are certain things that I like to do on my own, but then doing it with a group of people.
100%.
You know what I mean? So that's the type of person I am, and it's something that I realized recently because I never knew what the signs of an introvert were until I would be speaking to people at work who also are introverts. Do you know what I mean? And some of them are, and they were like, when I said to them, I'm not a big fan of small talk, and they're like, you're an introvert. I'm like, what? Like, how do you know that? Like, I didn't know that was a symptom or a sign of it. But yeah, I mean, even watching like, just like, at the moment I'm actually watching Big Brother, and there's a character on there who's an introvert, and then there's stuff that he does or says, and it's like, yep, that's me. Do you know what I mean? So like, I'm starting to see it in everything. I'm like, okay, now I can see what the signs and symptoms of an introvert are.
Good.
Not, I mean, I said symptoms like it's a disease, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not a disease. It's normal. It's fine to be an introvert. But yeah, I think that's conversations are a lot more deeper with an introvert person.
Absolutely. And this is why I've really enjoyed this episode. I haven't done the episode this long, 1 hour 45 minutes, which is amazing.
I was just thinking, well, people might not be listening to this point.
Oh, who cares, man? I'm
like
enjoying
it's a bit long, isn't it?
I'm enjoying it.
But how long are podcasts supposed to be anyway?
There are podcasts that last for 2 hours.
Oh, okay,
so
this is normal
hours.
Then. I thought
this is a pretty good length of a podcast episode. I've enjoyed it a lot.
Cool.
Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot more fun than I thought it'd be.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how it was
going to be awkward, innit? Like,
I thought it was going to be awkward and you're going to be asking me questions about things and I'm like, I don't know.
That's what I think as well when I sit in a pod. Like, when I'm, like, this morning I was like, what am I going to talk about? Because I don't really have much things to talk about, but this has been very, very good.
Yeah, because I think we talk about things I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, cool, whatever, bro. Kind of thing.
Cool.
Sick. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 5. If you are enjoying the series so far, please make sure you follow us on SoundCloud, subscribe to us on YouTube because we're sociopaths.
Oh yeah.
Share some love, man. Share some loves. Yeah, we'll be back with episode 6. Hopefully that the 6th episode will be sooner than later, and we're going to be reviewing in detail Lil Wayne, Logic, and Kanye West's new projects. But thank you very much. You've been amazing if you've reached this far, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Take care. Bye.
Peace.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.